Hey everybody, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and this is my series Nails in a Coffin, where we learn that with great kills, there must also come great nails. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving if you celebrated. If not, I really hope you're still doing awesome. It is a day of Thanksgiving if you're watching this on a day of release, and to get in the spirit of the holidays, there we go, that feels much better. It is Black Friday, so I'd figure I'd cover Black Friday starring Bruce Campbell, Devon Sawa, and Michael Jai White. To celebrate the holiday season, I'm doing a giveaway to win this Funko Pop of Chucky. Not this one exactly, but a brand new one in box. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel and leave a comment down below. I'll pick a name at random on December 16th and ship it out to the winner. You get one entry per video starting now until December 16th. At current count, there will be 6 videos between now and then, so you can earn up to 6 entries for Chucky. Thank you for watching and subscribing, and this is just my way of saying thank you and spreading some holiday cheer to everyone. Let's get started and put some nails in a coffin with Black Friday. If you haven't watched this movie, there will be spoilers since I have to go over the kills. So this movie takes place on a Thanksgiving night, and we have disgruntled toy store employees who arrive for work to open a store at midnight for the busiest shopping day of the year. Meanwhile, there was an alien parasite that crashed to Earth on a meteor, and this group of misfits led by store manager Jonathan, played by Bruce Campbell, and longtime employee Ken, played by Devon Sawa, soon find themselves battling hordes of holiday shoppers who have been turned into monstrous creatures who just want to kill everybody. Now, I'm only going to cover the human deaths in this film. I'm not going to count the ones who die once they are infected with the alien parasite, but I will count if somebody gets infected. It's kind of like counting if a zombie gets killed or not. I don't count those because they really don't have any intelligence to make smart decisions. So anyways, these rules are made up anyway, so let's just have some fun and put some nails in a coffin on Black Friday. Our first kill just happens 1 minute into the movie. Monty is in a store late at night setting up for the Black Friday sale. He hears something and he has a flashlight and he goes to investigate. He comes upon this weird looking blob thing on the floor and he's getting closer and closer to it. This little blob thing starts pulsating and making noises. Monty's getting a little bit closer. Then something shoots out into Monty's face. We hear a scream, we get a blood splatter, and I'm going to count that as a death because Monty has now become infected. So the first death in Black Friday is going to get one nail in the coffin because I would not have gotten closer and closer to this gross blob thing on the floor that is pulsating. Pretty much curiosity killed the cat here. Monty wanted to see what this blob thing was, and he got too close and paid the price for it. So, sorry Monty, I'm going to give you only one nail in the coffin. The guy that dies next, and I never got his name in this movie, he goes outside to smoke a cigarette. He gets locked outside and then turns to look at something. The screen cuts away, and then we just see blood drop by his feet. We don't even see what he was looking at, even though it probably was a blob thing. But it was off screen, really, so no nails for him. I just didn't really see enough to go on. The sale is on at We Toys, and the employees are opening the doors. Employee Chris was cleaning up a pile of nasty stuff that someone or something left on the floor. And one of the infected people start charging at him. He knocks him over a display full of toys and balls to stop him. He's then attacked by an infected woman, but he smashes her with a bag of sand. No one really knows what's going on right now. They just think Chris went nuts, and he's the only one to notice that something is not quite right now. All the customers were asked to leave the store after this little altercation that Chris had. Emmett, he's another store employee. He walks over to a woman who is down by her knees, and he goes over to her, asks her if she's okay, does she need any help. But she attacks him, and during their struggle, she spits this web-like material into his mouth. We all know that he's infected now, and I'm going to have to count this as a death. I'm awarding Emmett 2 nails in the coffin. He did struggle as soon as he saw the infected lady, after she grabbed him, I should say, and it appears that once infected, these people have increased strength, so he was caught off guard, and he kind of was overpowered. And there was no way for him to know that some lady was going to spit some gross stuff onto him, causing him to become an infected zombie creature. And I really didn't see anything that he did that could be considered stupid, so he was just trying to help somebody. So, for Emmett, he's awarded 2 nails in the coffin. Ken helps Emmett and brings him into the storeroom where everybody else is standing. Emmett appears okay, but he's worried since some lady spit something into his mouth. He starts to convulse on the floor, foaming at the mouth, and Ken goes over to try and help him. But Anita goes to step in, and when she's standing over him, he spits something in her mouth, and then something jabs out of her neck, and she dies. So over here, I'm going to give Anita 2 nails in the coffin. She was trying to help Emmett, and she really had no clue that he was infected with an alien parasite. It just looked as if he was having a seizure. And out of nowhere, he spit that stuff into her mouth, and it killed her even before she knew what had hit her. There wasn't much she could have done here, and I didn't see her do any stupid decisions, so I'm going to award Anita with 2 nails in the coffin. Now all the employees know that there are infected alien parasite people around. Short while later, they're in front of the store arguing and going back and forth. Store manager Jonathan tells everyone that there's going to be no holiday bonuses this year, and then in fact people are going to be laid off after the holidays. This upsets everybody. But Ruth is standing by the glass doors by the front of the store, and she sees a police car arriving. Archie, played by Michael Jai White, tells her, hey, get away from the door since it's probably not safe. She ignores his request, and then a police car slams through the glass doors, killing her instantly. Ruth here, she earned herself 1 nail in the coffin. She just stood there in front of the glass doors as a cop car sped towards her. Archie even told her, hey, that's not a good idea. She never moved or even looked like she was going to move, and the car was getting closer and closer to her. It was stupid, plain and simple. She was stupid. And when you're that dumb, you're going to get 1 nail in the coffin. Now that a cop car crashed into the store, the infected are making their way in. Archie saves Chris, and as he's doing this, he gets attacked by some of that white goop. He tells Chris to go, that he's just going to slow him down. Archie was able to fight off a few of the infected, but unfortunately, he doesn't last long. He gets hit by one of the infected, and then as he's realizing what's happening to him, he looks up, and that white web material shoots on his face. He gets pulled up, and unfortunately, he's eviscerated. No doubt about it here, Spawn, he's getting 3 nails in the coffin. He was a tough SOB, and he saved Chris, and he was selfless, telling him to go ahead while he dealt with the infected people. He took a few out before they took him. He was brave, and that's exactly what I'm looking for when I hand out 3 and 4 nail awards. It's a shame he was killed off with so much time left in the movie, because I wish they kept him around a little bit longer, but at least I can do for him is give him 3 nails in the coffin. The employee of We Toys are trying to formulate a plan to get to safety. One of the infected, formerly known as Emmett, gets into the storeroom, and he starts to mutate, growing large teeth, and it's pretty good practical effects here, one of the better scenes in the movie. So the infected Emmett attacks Ken, and they're struggling back and forth in the storeroom, knocking things off shelves. Brian finally decides to do something, and he tries to help, but he just smashes into them, making everybody fall to the ground. And during the struggle with infected Emmett, unfortunately, Ken was bitten. Getting towards the end of the movie, and the store is currently on fire, and the remaining group made their way up to the roof, because all the exits are blocked, either by fire or the infected. Jonathan's had enough. All of his years of working customer service have finally caught up to him. And he thinks of his people, his employees, as family. He's standing on the opening of the ladder back inside, but it's crawling with the infected. He opens the hatch, and he actually sacrifices himself so the others would have time to escape. I'm giving Ash 3 nails in a coffin. Jonathan wasn't a bad guy. He was way better than Brian was in this movie. And he called his employees his family. You can tell he cared. He wasn't a corporate stooge. And he wanted to do something special in his life instead of just wasting time in a toy store. And he sacrificed himself to save others. I would have given him 4 nails in the coffin, but I think his decision was just a little bit hasty, so I'm going to give him a solid 3 nails in the coffin. The giant alien parasite alien is rising out of the roof of the toy store. Brian thinks he can reason with it. Marnie tells him that he's crazy, but Brian just told her it's a management thing. You wouldn't know anything about it. So he's trying to talk to this giant alien parasite, and he thinks it's working. Nope. The giant parasite hits him with the tentacle, sending him flying, killing him. And hopefully it was painful, because I really did not like Brian at all in this movie. He was a horrible person. He was actually the one who bit Ken so he could save himself. He's getting 1 nail in the coffin. He pretty much let his pretentiousness get him killed. He thought he was smarter than everybody. He thought he was better than everybody. Like I said, he just bit Ken to save his own ass. And he only cared about one person, and that was himself. And I know you're probably not supposed to like him in this movie, and I sure didn't, and I kind of smiled and chuckled when he died. But the final kill in this movie is Brian, and he's going to get 1 nail in the coffin. Marnie, Ken, and Chris are now the only ones left, and they formulate a plan to kill the giant parasite. Ken is distracting the thing while Chris jumps in a forklift. The giant parasite alien shoots the mouth web at the forklift, and Chris has it in reverse while the alien is pulling it. He drops it into neutral, and the forklift is sent flying with the forks of the forklift piercing the head of the alien. It's screaming in pain. It pulls the forklift out. Blood and goop is flying out of his head. And then the alien crumbles down into the toy store, which is completely engulfed in flames by now. And it dies, and the building collapses in on itself. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all my Nails in a Coffin for Black Friday. Here's a summary of all the nails I've awarded. This was a fun movie. It's definitely worth a watch. Some of the practical effects are pretty good, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I have more holiday horror films planned for the rest of the year, and don't forget about my Horror Moves Superlative series as well. We're tackling the 90s this time around. And please don't forget to leave a comment down below so you can be entered in to win a Funko Pop of Chucky. Thanks again for watching this video. Hope you guys are all doing awesome. Take care, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails.